Thank you for choosing CalISO Corporation for your training needs. This short video clip is presented to provide you with a brief introductory on the requirements of the International Standard ISO 19011-2011. What is ISO 19011-2011? The 19011 in ISO 19011-2011 is the document reference number for the standard that defines the guidelines of auditing management systems. This international standard does not state specific requirements, but provides guidance on the following: the principles of auditing, managing an audit program, conducting management systems audits, as well as guidance on the evaluation of the competency of those involved in the audit process, as well as the person managing the audit program, auditors, and audit teams. You will note as you review the standard or our online training that the word program is spelled P-R-O-G-R-A-M-M-E. This is not an error, as it is the European way to spell the word. The 2011 in ISO 19011-2011 refers to the revision of the standard. The current version of the standard was released on November 15, 2011. The second edition replaces the first edition, which was originally released in 2002. The main differences compared with the first edition are as follows. The scope has been broadened from auditing of only quality and environmental management systems to the auditing of any management system. The relationship between ISO 19011 and ISO IEC 17021 has been clarified. ISO IEC 17021 sets out requirements for third-party certification of management systems. Remote audit methods and the concept of risk have also been introduced. Confidentiality has been added as a new principle of auditing. Clauses 5, 6, and 7 have been reorganized. Additional information has been included in a new Annex B, resulting in the removal of help boxes. The competence determination and evaluation process has been strengthened. And lastly, illustrative examples of discipline-specific knowledge and skills have been included in a new Annex A. There are 7 sections in this standard. Sections 1, 2, and 3 contain no requirements. Section 1 contains the scope of the standard. Section 2 lists the normative references, which is basically a list of other standards that apply to this document. And Section 3 contains terms and definitions. Section 4 is titled Principles of Auditing. This section outlines the basic principles that need to be followed by all auditors to ensure that audits are an effective and reliable tool for supporting management policies and controls. These principles are integrity, the foundation of professionalism; fair presentation, the obligation to report truthfully and accurately; due professional care, the application of diligence and judgment in auditing; confidentiality, the security of information; independence, the basis for impartiality of the audit and objectivity of the audit conclusions; and lastly, evidence-based approach. This is the rational method for reaching reliable and reproducible audit conclusions in a systematic audit process. Section 5 is titled Managing an Audit Program. This section covers the requirements for an effective audit program. A few key requirements are Establishing the audit program objectives. Objectives should be consistent with and support management system policy and objectives. Establishing the audit program, which includes roles and responsibilities, the competence of the person managing the audit program, establishing the extent of the program, which can vary depending on the size and nature of the auditee, establishing procedures for the audit program, and identifying audit program resources. Section 5.3.4 specifically speaks to the identification and evaluation of audit program risks. A sample of some risks to be considered are planning, resources, or selection of the audit team. Also included in this section is implementing the audit program, which includes defining the objectives, scope, and criteria for an individual audit, selecting audit methods as well as the audit team members, assigning responsibility for an audit to a team leader and allowing that team leader enough time to ensure effective planning, managing the audit program outcome as well as the records, and monitoring the audit program, which in turn will cause continual improvement of that audit program. Section 6 is titled Performing an Audit. Section 6 outlines typical audit activities such as initiating the audit, which includes contacting the auditee and determining the feasibility of the audit, preparing for the audit by performing document review, preparing the audit plan, assigning work to the audit team, and preparing the audit work documents such as checklists. Conducting the audit, which includes opening meeting, document review while on site, communication, assigning roles and responsibilities of the guides and observers, collecting information which will generate audit findings, preparing the audit conclusions, and conducting the closing meeting. Preparing, approving, and distributing the audit report, completing the audit, and conducting the audit follow-up. Section 7 is titled Competence and Evaluation of Auditors. Confidence in the audit process and the ability to achieve its objectives depend on the competence of those individuals who are involved in planning and conducting audits, including auditors and the audit team leaders. In determining auditor competence to fulfill the needs of the audit program, some things to be considered are the size, nature, and complexity of the organization to be audited, the objectives and extent of the audit program, the complexity of the management system to be audited. Personal behavior of the auditor is critical. Auditors should be open-minded, perceptive, self-reliant, and versatile, just to name a few. Auditors should have general knowledge in audit principles, procedures, and methods in order to ensure that audits are conducted in a consistent and systemic manner. Management system and reference documents in order to comprehend the audit scope and apply the audit criteria. Organizational context. This enables auditors to comprehend the auditee's structure, business, and management practices. Also, applicable legal and contractual requirements and other requirements that apply to the auditee. This enables the auditor to be aware of and work within the organization's legal and contractual requirements. Discipline and sector-specific knowledge and skills of management system auditors. Auditors should have the discipline and sector-specific knowledge and skills appropriate for auditing the particular type of management system and sector they are auditing. Generic knowledge and skills of an audit team leader. The audit team leader should have additional knowledge and skills to manage and provide leadership to the audit team in order to facilitate an efficient and effective audit. Knowledge and skills for auditing management systems addressing multiple disciplines. Auditors who intend to participate as an audit team in auditing management systems addressing multiple disciplines should have the competency necessary to audit at least one of the management system disciplines. Auditor competence. Auditor knowledge and skills can be acquired by using a combination of education, training, or experience. Establishing auditor evaluation criteria. Criteria should be qualitative, such as a demonstration of personal behavior or knowledge, as well as quantitative, such as years of experience. Selecting the appropriate evaluation method is accomplished by reviewing the methods provided in Table 2 of the standard. The evaluation compares the requirements set out by the standard with the capabilities of the auditor. Maintaining and improving auditor competence. Auditors and team leaders should continually improve their competence. Maintaining competence is done through regular participation in management system audits. Improvement of skills is obtained through additional work experience, training, or other relevant activities. So now we've reached the last slide, and I want to answer this question. Why is auditing so important? The answer is really simple. Auditing is a tool for management to use in order to verify that the management system has been effectively implemented. Audits help determine whether the established policies and procedures are being followed and if they are effective. Internal audits can also form a basis for an organization's self-declaration of conformity. The bottom line is that management needs to ensure that the company is operating within its expectations, but they can't possibly verify every employee, every department, every process, every day. So management uses its trained resources, an audit team, to perform this verification on their behalf. The auditors follow the process described in this standard and report whether the processes are complying with the established management system. The outcome is either the process is compliant or it's not. Once management understands the actual performance of the organization, they can make a decision to correct problems in order to continually drive improvement. Well, we certainly hope you enjoyed this online training. Please proceed to the beginning of your course. If you should have any questions or concerns, please see our frequently asked questions on our home site.